Good morning once more. Welcome to the news belt of the show. Let's get into our first story now. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says government will soon address the challenges confronting security agencies, forcing them to depend on the importation of security hardware. According to him, this undesirable state of affairs is among the reasons the president made it a matter of unavoidable necessity to institute the one district, one factory policy. According to him, the human resources of the Ghana Armed Forces have not been leveraged, and this status quo will not be allowed to persist in the era of industrialization under the Akufo-Addo-led government. Samuel Mbura has more in this report.
The vice president was speaking at the inauguration of a joint venture company under the Defense Industries Holding Company Limited, DIHOC. He observed that armed forces all over the world have been pacesetters for driving development from diverse fronts. Same, however, cannot be said of Ghana because of the little knowledge the public has of the services of the Ghana Armed Forces. He corrected that the Ghana Armed Forces doesn't only specialize in peacekeeping. He wants the status quo changed.
The armed forces all over the world have been pace setters for driving development efforts on diverse fronts. In light of this, many countries like the State of Israel, Egypt, and most developed and middle-income developing countries in Europe and the Americas and Asia have all leveraged their militaries to catapult their development through defense industrial complexes. Ghana is yet to take full advantage of the huge technical human resource the armed forces have in propelling our developmental progress over the years. However, it is obvious this status quo cannot continue to persist under the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo era of industrialization and one district, one factory for a Ghana beyond aid. Although the armed forces have had the entity called Defense Industries Holding Company, DIHOC, for some years now, this entity has not been leveraged significantly to catalyze the industrialization of our country until now.
Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama, said the establishment of Defense Industries Holding Company Limited is in conformity with all the legal requirements. This enables it to undertake national developmental projects across the country.
The establishment of the Defense Industries Holding Company, DIHOC for short, therefore conformed with all the necessary legal requirements after the establishment had been duly approved by the Armed Forces Council. All legal issues relating to company formation and operation have been duly addressed. Additionally, this endeavor conforms to provisions in the 1992 Constitution, particularly Article 210, Clause 10, which lends credence to the proposition for the Ghana Armed Forces to engage in national development projects in the country.
The DIHOC project, when realized, is expected to establish an industrial command that will focus on provision of critical logistic needs of the armed forces. It will also be a vanguard of the country's industrialization drive, taking necessary actions that will ensure an effective management of any emerging socio-economic and human security threats in the country. The vice president commissioned some construction equipment and also cut salt for the start of project at the Burma camp. Samuel Mbura's report for